What's up, everybody? Welcome to Tardy to the Party, where three nerds gather around and talk about the holy trinity of pop culture: Marvel, DC, Star Wars. I'm your boy, J Sib. And to my left, as always,
Kevin Crunch is here.
and to my right,
The other
as
side
always,
of that, Sammy,
oh boy,
the bull.
bringing the Sammy back.
J Sib sandwich.
The J Sip Sammy.
Gonna go on a picnic.
A little cold for a picnic now.
Yeah, let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah,
Plenty of
this
heat.
state,
We'll go
this state
south.
fucking
Plenty of
sucks.
heat where we're going, boys, with this sandwich.
How was your boys' week?
Pretty good. I mean, can't complain. It's pretty easy. Your guys?
Yeah, not fairly easy week. Just kind of dragged a little bit, but other than that, not too bad. Not
Feel
too bad.
that, yeah. Mine
Yeah.
kind of dragged too.
Yeah, it's been dragging the last couple weeks. Ever since it started getting dark early, it's just been hell.
It's
Oh, God.
dude. For me, it was kind of depressing at first. It's like you get off work and it's like already dark, and you
Yep.
kind of like mentally feel like, oh, cool, it's nighttime, and I need to go into my house and hole up for the rest of the evening. And it's
Better
like,
go home and take my
and then I look at
vitamin
the
D.
clock and it's 5:30, and I'm like, wait a minute though, I got like 4 more hours I'm gonna be awake. So
It's like a catch-22. It's like you hate seeing it dark when you're out, but then like it seems like your nights are so much longer because it's just been dark for so long.
Yeah, true.
true.
It's,
Yeah.
that's the only thing. It's like I'll look up at the clock after I feel like I've been watching TV for like 4 hours and it's been like an hour and a half. Like,
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's how I
Uh,
feel too.
Another
Yeah.
bonus is since it's cold now, less yard work. That's a big plus. For me.
Facts.
That's
Big plus.
true.
Big plus.
Big facts.
Alrighty, let's get into this week's news. Starting off with DC as per usual. Don't have we actually had some late
Yeah.
news coming in, which we'll get to in a minute. But only got three things to talk about. One, which is actually pretty big.
Mhm.
DC, Warner Brothers, HBO Max, however you want to look at it, basically sold all of the DC animated movie and show rights to Amazon Prime.
So that all that streaming for that is gonna move over there.
That's basically what I'm getting at. It seems like they want to kind of condense HBO Max kind of down to more adult, and I'm hoping they're not going to take away the Warner Brothers movies. I don't want it to go back to just like HBO exclusive. I hope they kind of keep some extra stuff on there because then I
Yeah.
feel like they're kind of hurting themselves. But I can understand them taking off like the DC animated stuff, Cartoon Network stuff.
I could.
I don't know if they're going to go. See, then 'cause don't they have Crunchyroll on there too?
Yeah.
Or at least some anime.
They
Yeah, like
do.
that's gonna be kind of
Dude.
that's a ballsy move because I feel like that's
I
a
didn't
decent
realize
audience.
HBO had some anime on
Oh
there.
yeah, dude, tons of it.
Um,
Yeah, like there's like a whole section as you scroll down. Like there's like almost like
There's,
small,
like, hubs.
pill-shaped icons that have like anime different producers.
So
Crazy.
Yeah.
we'll see how that goes. But it kind of makes sense them at least wanting to kind of be more of like that original adult
Yeah.
content.
Well, and also on top of that, we're seeing more and more of that like kind of like spread and diversification amongst different streaming platforms from the same source. And we're seeing that, seeing that almost across the Trinity now. Everybody's starting to kind of put their shows on different networks and streaming companies and stuff like that. And some of them are having success.
And Amazon Prime's just buying everything up right now. Like,
Which is odd.
Sony, you want to give us some Spider-Man stuff? Oh yeah, we'll take that. We'll get it on that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're buying from Sony and Marvel.
Makes sense.
and-
It makes sense from Sony because they don't have a streaming platform,
Right.
But the weird thing was to me is that they didn't give it to Disney Plus, kind of in a way, because they've been working so hand in hand together. But
Yeah, you
whatever.
wonder how good that relationship actually
Oh, thanks for
is.
helping us build up our Spider-Man universe. Fuck off. We got legendary pictures now.
There's still
That might be. That
There's
might
still-
be why they just
still-
didn't care to go with Amazon is because they got legendary pictures.
still a little salt there, though. Obviously you build up the universe, but you're still kind of in one hand in Sony, just kind of sitting in that world. A little bit of salt in that situation, I bet.
Well, I mean, as far as the universe, I mean, Sony still like has their own, and then I think they're just gonna piggyback off the whole multiverse idea.
Right, because multiverse.
Yeah. Well, the way
Our
the,
own
the
multiverse.
shitty end credit scene from Morbius. So.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Right.
My bad. I just kind of have that reaction to that.
As you should.
Tried to watch that again the other night.
Yeah.
Didn't work.
Keyword in that
Didn't
sentence.
work.
How far did you get in?
Ooh, like
keyword in that sentence was
maybe
try.
40 minutes, maybe.
Oh, wow.
That's a solid effort.
I tried.
You did try.
I really did.
You did, yeah.
I think you should honestly give yourself a present today, a nice little gift.
All the beers that I will drink this afternoon in college football are the gift enough.
It's a gift from trying to watch.
I think that'll help the
movies for
misery you
40
put
minutes.
yourself through for 40 minutes.
I got to cope somehow.
And then, let's see. Other than that, James Gunn tweeted out this week saying, damn it, I had it in my head all day. Making plans. There we go.
Yeah,
Making plans, and then tweeted a picture, which I'll probably pull up like right here. But it'll probably be smaller, so we don't get in trouble. But which we won't anyway. But it's from Kingdom Come. So
I mean, he put it on Twitter. It's like, what kind of trouble would we really get in?
Public platform.
Some people are weird about copyright shit.
That's true.
I don't play that game.
Yeah.
You can blur it or some shit. You know, make
I don't want to blur the beautiful art.
Well, right, but at least
but
you can show it.
teasing Kingdom Come, potentially. I mean, I feel like if he chose that picture out of all pictures of like DC heroes and villains, I feel like he chose this one kind of purposefully.
Oh yeah.
I think James Gunn is kind of smart enough to know if he teases or posts a Kingdom Come photo, people are going to go ballistic thinking that that's coming. I think it's going to be. I mean, I talked to you a little bit before we started. I think this is if it is the plan, I think it's going to be a ways down the line. I think that's obviously what he would be long term building to.
Yeah.
Plus, it would make no sense for a Kingdom Come movie to be like
right now,
like his first project coming out, like after all these ones.
Yeah, I mean, I think it obviously kind of shines a light on what he wants, like you say, what he wants to do, you know, and what his plans are, and you know, obviously everybody saw the success of bringing every single possible superhero together that Marvel had. So it's like, hey, fuck it, let's run this back.
And I mean, that's a very, very iconic story to adapt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're also talking about this too. I mean, it obviously will probably get adapted, probably fairly heavily, but stoked. I would love to see an adaptation of Kingdom Come. That would be sick.
I'll take a loose leaf adaptation of Kingdom Come any day. All right, it's fine with me.
What you think, Kevin? Are you hype or
For Kingdom Come?
Yeah, bro.
Get hype out here, bro.
Notes over here.
I always am down for a good darker Superman story. You know, like when Lois gets killed and then he kind of will start to lose his shit. I'm always down for that.
Dude,
and what's funny too is like you could tell like when you watch
Zack Snyder's coming back. What?
I was gonna say when you watch Zack Snyder's Justice League, obviously it was setting up the whole fact that Lois was gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
So it's cool that James Gunn now is gonna do this story where it's a story where Lois does die, and you know Superman just kind of. I think he goes pretty kind of crazy, doesn't he?
Been a while since I watched it.
Yeah, it's been a couple
years. He definitely loses his way.
But that would be a perfect way to keep the Snyderverse involved.
It would.
Yeah.
or a rough, kind of a rough-shodden way of keeping them involved. Yeah, I mean, obviously that was a story that pre-existed, but then if you think about the nightmare scene.
So the one thing I can't remember about Kingdom Come is if that's when Black Adam and Shazam have to team up to fight Superman, or if it's Superman and Black Adam have to team up against Shazam. I can't remember which one it is.
Here's what I'll say.
I feel like Shazam is.
Well, on the cover here on Wikipedia, it's showing Superman and Shazam clearly getting ready to go at it. Because that's what it is. Is really it's Superman that he gets the Justice League to kind of stop being so good, if you will, and the whole like not kill rule. And then it's Batman. It's of course Batman. That's the antagonist to that. That's like no.
So that was like one of the first ones I read. So that one's really, really.
Yeah, this one's really old. But I would say with what
I actually wanted to reread it this week when he posted that. I was like, oh, I kind of want to reread.
Oh, dude, I used to, my buddy at work let me borrow the compendium of like all the stories. Put together.
And that's what I like to always get to.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's what I always like to get to, just so you can have the whole story and read it.
Yeah, and all the artwork is all just.
Real quick, all I was gonna say to your point, Jay, is that with the end credit scene of Black Adam and Superman comes down to talk to him, I could see where they set it up though, that the Superman has to fight Shazam and Black Adam together, like they'll go against him. I could see it.
I don't. How do we?
That's
how
the
do you,
that's the
how do you
weird thing
see
is I don't know
Shazam,
what
though?
way they're
Huh?
going with that at all.
Right. How do you see like the way that they portrayed Shazam so far? I just don't see what could bring him to that point. You know what I mean? Even with the story in mind of Kingdom Come, like the way that they portrayed him in the movies thus far, and like the Shazam kind of power,
Mm-hmm.
I'd be interested to see how they do that.
Well,
Like,
he's
bring him to
strong
that
enough
point.
to fight with Superman.
Right.
I would say that like
To be willing
you
to
got to
fight
do
him.
a plot point of something that Billy's just like he sees Superman do and he's just like in total disagreement with it.
Right.
That's typically what usually happens is that Shazam just like will I think eventually tell the Justice League that, hey, you guys like really aren't heroes anymore
Ooh yeah.
because they more want to act like a kind of like this third party like world police than Shazam, I think usually because he's the kid,
Right.
really.
He's more of a traditionalist superhero.
He's a traditionalist superhero ideology and
I don't know. It's a weird one for me and how they're going to do that, just because of how Cavill's basically spoken about how he's going to come. Which, like I said, Kingdom Come would be a long ways away anyway. So I guess they could do the Boy Scout, super happy, hopeful Superman for a while, and then start leaning back into that direction, which might be in time for Zack Snyder to come back.
Well, and we're gonna see. And we got a lot of time too. You know, with the new Shazam movie and stuff like that, to see kind of how they leave the breadcrumbs to where to where they really want to go.
I'd say like the one thing that makes me nervous is I don't want them to do like Black Adam straight up against Superman off the get go. Like I want to see Black Adam go against Shazam first because that's just what makes sense to me as a fan.
I mean, it would make sense logically.
And then later have Black Adam face Superman.
I mean, it would make sense logically if you see like how Superman's doing. What's her name, the Suicide Squad lady, the
Amanda Waller.
yes. Doing her, kind of not more or less her bidding, her doing her a favor by keeping Black Adam in check. And maybe that's
So
what
this
kind of
is a
keeps, that's what
newer-
gets Shazam to the top.
So the photo he shared, this is a newer Kingdom Come story then.
That's the one that I'm familiar with. I remember that.
Yeah, this is a
very well.
paperback.
that's the
It's
one
a
that he shared.
paperback book. So,
So I don't know if it means new edition.
so
don't know if
this
it's
is
actually a new
saying
story.
this is just saying that it's a new generation of heroes that don't have their moral compass, and Batman's retired and Superman's in exile, and then the rest of the Justice League just isn't around. So yeah, something probably way down the line that they're just gonna build up, but yeah,
The Infinity War to the end game.
hell yeah, dude.
you know.
Maybe I should buy that and read it.
Just gives me hope.
Oh, dude.
Gives me
it's
hope
never a
that
bad
maybe
buy.
we can still see.
I just need to be.
I think we're gonna
just
see a
wanna,
lot.
That's the one thing as a DC fan that really bugs me, and I think is actually like killing our like fan base right now. Is we're so fucking divided right now.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
And
Yeah,
part of
yeah.
it's because at the same time, DC we kind of need James Gunn at this point to come out and just like the main question we all need answered: what Justice League is canon going forward?
Oh, I think we kind of know that a little bit.
But we don't. How do we know that?
I mean,
Because Cavill came
well,
back?
They've been vehemently against the Snyderverse for so long that I mean,
I was
they
gonna say
that it's
Warner
there.
Brothers came out and they said that the Whedon one is the canon.
That was the old regime, though. They have not.
Right.
They have not said shit
So the new
since that
regime
because
needs
because
to
that
get
same
on our level.
that same
That's
regime
the fucking canon.
the same
dude.
regime that
Right.
said that also didn't want to bring back Henry Cavill.
True.
And actually, The Rock posted a video this week basically bashing the old regime. And
Oh,
I don't know if you
dude.
guys saw it.
Well,
I thought about talking about
that
it, but he
makes
basically
sense.
called them the old regime out, saying
Well,
how they didn't want him back and how it
I
was
was gonna
just.
say,
Well, as
yeah,
he
that
should,
makes
you know.
sense because he came out and said he's like, yeah, it was a huge fight for me to get Henry Cavill back in here. Like
Yeah.
Warner Brothers didn't want him, and he was like, I literally had to fight for it.
I just don't understand. I just don't understand why on earth you wouldn't want him back. I mean,
I think they're just afraid because at the time when his Man of Steel movie came out, it didn't get received well, and then Batman vs Superman didn't get received well. Justice League got kind of received a little mixed, and they're probably just the execs are probably just like, yeah, let's just like move on. It's kind of like when you're running a sports team and you gotta, it's like, hey, let's move on from this said player. It's like,
was this hitting a little close to home for you? over
no,
Little Aaron Rodgers.
Thank
over there.
God for the schedule that we don't play Minnesota in a while, but since we
God.
play since we play the rival tomorrow, you're the only other franchise that's kind of done it to him, and this time I'm just asking if you could knock him out. This time we're asking, knock him out.
Who is that now?
Just Rodgers or the Bear? Well, the Bears knocking out Rodgers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the 3 times Rodgers has gotten injured in his career, it's came against Minnesota, I believe, twice, and then the Bears once.
Hey, we'll snap.
I know. I was gonna say
snap that collarbone.
I was
like
gonna
paper
say,
mache,
yeah.
baby.
Yeah. Well, this time I'm asking for it because let's be real here.
Are you
Like,
calling for an injury or are you calling for a loss?
Both.
So
of
Can
them.
it be
what a
both?
weird tangent we're going on. Would you rather just get knocked out of the playoffs, or would you?
I'd rather Rodgers is just benched, but they don't have the balls to do it because we got to see what we got with that young guy. He came in that Philly game, and I'm just like, okay, wait,
Yeah, I don't think
this is different.
Yeah, math.
This is not the same guy.
Well, what did
We gotta see what the future holds with this guy.
What did Rodgers say? He didn't want to leave until he was mathematically not getting into the playoffs.
Well,
bro,
that's
you
what
are
it is,
fucking
though.
there. Like,
That-
calm down.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
they
I
they like the organization, the coaches, and himself. He doesn't want to not play until they're mathematically eliminated. It's like you have 8 losses already.
Yeah, you've
Like what?
Are you gonna win out?
Yeah.
Okay, come on.
Oh, we're gonna win out. We're gonna get hot going into the playoffs and somehow make it. And it's like, no, this isn't the defense is terrible. We can't stop anybody.
I'll tell you what though, that Christian Watson, he's a fucking stud.
Beast.
Stud.
Yeah, all the young. That's the thing. I want to see the young players that they've spent the last 2-3 years drafting. I want to watch them play together, see how it goes. Whatever. But back to DC.
Back to the
Yeah,
I personally think that's just Warner Brothers. The execs were just like, yeah, let's just move on from all this because it didn't work. It was never received as well as we thought it would be, and they wanted to move on. But then, obviously, because of Twitter and the internet, their fandom split, like you said. And you got a lot of people that are vocal about, like, no, don't get rid of any of this. This is amazing, and it's way better than what Marvel's put out. Because it's way more adult, but,
Yeah, I mean, I just wish the new regime would come out and just answer the question. Just
they're probably waiting.
because that actually means a lot for this universe going forward. Like, which one is canon?
Well, you see all those movies you
Like,
got
even
right in
if
front of
Zach's
you?
not coming
They're probably
back.
waiting to see how those movies
Even if Zach's not
those
coming back.
movies he's got right in front of him.
Yeah, no shit.
Let's take Zach out of the fucking equation. But as long as they make this canon, this still changes a lot going forward.
I think
well as if they kept the Justice League version.
Honestly, I think
did Darkseid actually show? Did we see Darkseid? Do we have the cooler version of Steppenwolf? Does Flash save the day at the end of the day? Does Cyborg actually get a badass background story and is actually a real character? And if this is canon, does this mean Ray Fisher can actually come back as Cyborg? Because I would really like that.
But he might want to now that they have a whole new regime.
So
yeah.
Yeah,
I need that question answered, and I feel like the fan base needs that question answered because I feel like then we could actually finally all gather around one fucking vision. Even if some people don't like it, at least we now know and are in fucking limbo as to what the hell is going on.
I worry that they will say that one is not canon. I worry about that because the Whedon cut leaves Darkseid out, and then that way they don't have to worry about building to some plot line in a movie with everyone against Darkseid as the big bad, and then they can just focus on this Kingdom Come thing they want to do.
So if
that's my thought on it. I'm worried that they probably won't say that one's canon because if Gunn's tweeting out this photo of Kingdom Come and saying plans. It
still fits. I mean, it fits more with this version than it does the Justice League.
That's the thing. Honestly, I kind of disagree in a way because, like he said,
maybe Kingdom Come could just be like the
they could kind of adapt Kingdom Come through this.
100%.
Right.
That would be that would. I mean, dude, if I'm talking about an actual superhero movie, when I'm talking about the most quintessential one that I've seen as of late,
Yeah, that one.
right there.
Yeah.
That's I mean, and that's the thing is what I was going to say earlier. Are you ready for okay? So the solidarity that you want, and the streamlined canon nature of it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're prepared for Disney to do to Star Wars what the new regime is going to do to that, then I'd say then you'll get your solidarity. That's why Star Wars did it, and there's so many fans that hated it because Disney came in and said, "Okay, what's canon? Fuck it, we're not gonna do this. Everything from now on is canon." And then they'll slowly bring other things in. But that pissed people off for a long time. Like, a lot of the different things that you saw that they were just like, people were just accepting it and they're like, this is Star Wars universe fact. And they go, put it on the table, put it on the table. See ya. Bye. Put it on the table. Yeah, no, but away from Star Wars, that's what they would have to do to get a streamlined venture in there and say, they'd have to go in specifically and just be like, hey, no, this movie and everything that happened after that in direct relation, sure. But all this other shit, and some people would be like, but I love that. Put it on the table.
So DC, so not to keep beating the horse of the Kingdom Come, but it seems like DC has done this iteration a couple different times. This most recent one in 2019 sounds pretty interesting.
I don't know if it's different. I don't know if it's different versions or if they're just putting different covers on
any
them.
Actual relevance, but I got to admit that I kind of laugh at how much they sexualize Power Girl.
But anyway, after that tangent,
I mean, I was just kind of sitting back, like, I'll let that one roll.
So CCXP is still going on, and Warner Brothers was not supposed to have a panel today, but I guess they surprised everybody this morning with a Blue Beetle panel, releasing a new poster and an official date, officially in theaters, August 18th, 2023. And then, they brought on the two main actors. I can't remember. He's Miguel in Cobra Kai, I know that. And I'm not familiar with the actress. That's the main love interest. But they brought them on stage and did a panel for I think it was 20-ish minutes. Obviously, I didn't get to see it because I'm not there. I just saw pictures of it. But, yeah, the official DC Comics Twitter actually retweeted the poster and actually confirmed the date because I don't think they had it they didn't have it on the poster, but they tweeted out August 18th, 2023. So, I guess it's official.
And
let's go, boys!
And really excited. Cobra Kai, the lead Cobra Kai.
Susan Sarandon's in this? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, oh dude, and the Cobra Kai actor is the lead. I mean, weird. Me and Jordan talked about that before you got here. Man, when I just looked up a picture of him, obviously comic wise to the casting, it's fucking spot on.
And the suit is so sexy.
Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah, dude, it's just so cool because you look at him and how young and how innocent and truly childish he was looking in Cobra Kai, and then you look at a picture of him now cast as Blue Beetle and you're like, well, you aged 17 years in 3 weeks. It's like, fuck, man,
that Hollywood puberty.
No shit, dude. He has a full grown beard and long hair now, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on, man?
Well, that's just we'll get to it. There's another actor that it's we can talk about that same kind of transformation about in a little bit, but pretty excited for this just because Blue Beetle's a pretty unique hero. It's the alien attached to his body, so
scared.
It'll be a nice unique story. So
I'm super hyped. He's one of my favorite. He's kind of a lesser known hero. I mean, let's be honest, but he's one of my favorite of those.
Absolutely is lesser known. Yes.
So I'm super pumped for that. They gave me Blue Beetle. Now, James Gunn, you just got to give me Booster Gold. I'll be A-okay.
Just feel like he's such a
he put up the poll.
Movie.
It would be sick.
Well, because Booster Gold's just such a joke, but
he's awesome. You could make it work. At least a TV series.
We'll do if they're trying.
I feel like it might work better as a TV series.
We'll do all the shit they're doing.
I'll watch it if they somehow get Fillion to play the character, but
they need to just get some really good de-aging technology and just cast him as Hal Jordan Green Lantern.
Or that, yeah.
There's been a lot of fucking movies coming out or shows coming out with these
Or
B-list,
you
They
could
missed
just-
out on
these
that.
B-list,
Or they could
B-list
just,
like villains and
or they
B-list
could
heroes
just
and
do,
shit like that.
I don't know. The other thing they could.
Oh, so the B-list villains and B-list heroes, it seems like they're just coming out in droves now.
Well, would you be opposed
Got
to like maybe they do like a Green Lantern, like a Jessica Cruz Green Lantern, and then Hal Jordan, then Fillion can just be his age in it as an older, experienced Hal Jordan
that would
was
be-
off in space.
I mean, that would be pretty sweet.
Because that's a thing that they do a lot with Green Lantern is that Hal Jordan eventually ends up in a quadrant way out in space, and then the Protectors of Earth always kind of change from like Jon Stewart to Jessica Cruz. Because Rayner and Jordan, it seems like more recently they kind of get kicked out in space as far as like
Yeah.
the sectors they're supposed to patrol. I
I would be
how
down
I
with the
feel.
Jessica Cruz movie.
Yeah.
She's pretty cool. I actually need to read more about her because she's fairly newish.
Yeah, she's a newer.
I think she kind of got introduced towards the time I stopped reading comics, actually.
Yeah.
But she was pretty cool. Yeah, but that's it for DC this week.
Yeah.
Because I guess that's all they had for the panel. I was hoping they'd have a whole surprise panel with, Aquaman and Shazam and maybe a Flash teaser. But no, they came out with Blue Beetle, which is still hype. Good surprise. Good to hear it's not too far away either. Not too far away.
Was that basically like the last big thing that the old regime was working on, or?
So when does Aquaman and Shazam come out? Wait, Aquaman? No, it's Aquaman June or Shazam June.
I'm just wondering if they've gotten far enough to where like they.
What's
they
funny
can't
is I'm
sink their
surprised
teeth
it's
into it.
releasing this early compared to all the other projects because
Yeah.
the other projects were filmed way before this one was. But
Well,
yeah, pretty
right.
much like all these like slate of movies. Yeah, Aquaman, Fury of the Gods, Shazam, and this I think are basically the last.
Shazam's in
'Cause,
March.
well, you might be able to consider Wonder Woman 3 potentially, but that just got done writing its script. So I
yeah,
don't know.
that
how-
won't be out for a couple.
So
years.
I don't know if Hamada and them will
The-
still be attached to that product technically or
they'll
not.
have their chance to get their teeth sunk into it, by then. I just wasn't sure if this was really the last one that they won't have an opportunity to get their teeth sunk into before it either gets announced or released.
Yeah. So, well, actually, the good thing Blue Beetle kind of in a way is unique because when they came in, that was going to be an HBO Max movie. So Batgirl and Blue Beetle were supposed to be original HBO Max movies.
Okay.
And then the old regime bumped up Batgirl to be a theatrical release. And then when the new regime came in, they were like, fuck that. You guys did the wrong move on that. Canceled Batgirl and then went Blue Beetle is fucking sick. We're giving it more funding to do a theatrical release and not straight to HBO Max.
Fuck you,
They
Batgirl.
basically-
Give me the Blue Beetle.
They basically took all the
Basically what
remaining
happened.
money they probably planned for fucking Batgirl, and we're like, yeah, we're just gonna throw into this other movie where this team kind of seems like they know what they're doing. Batgirl looks like they were saying that Batgirl basically looked like a glorified CW show that was just
Yeah.
a
Dude,
movie.
she's not a fucking lead. She's not, in my opinion. I don't see that character as a lead in any way, shape, or form. Unfortunately.
I could see it, but I
Yeah.
don't think you
I mean,
can
different.
do it. I think she would have had to been introduced first. I don't think you can just go balls deep with her as a solo.
Yeah, here's your movie.
I
You know,
personally,
it's
I
like,
mean,
here's your movie.
I personally think if they're gonna do,
Here it is.
Here's your movie.
Here's Michael Keaton
God.
you can have him.
and Brendan Fraser. Hollywood likes him now. Put him in there.
Yeah, he's back.
Anyway, let's move on from DC.
He's back.
He's back.
Oh, what do you think? What do you think for old Marvel?
Marvel. I mean, there was a couple castings announced for Loki, and Daredevil Born Again, but I'll tell you guys that I don't really recognize the actor that was cast for Born Again and the actress cast for Loki, and I don't even know like how much it even got theorized for who they could even be in said shows. It was just kind of found out that they got cast, but the big part for Marvel this week, everyone's talking about it, everyone's theorizing what's going to happen, is we finally got our Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 trailer, and it looks like it's gonna punch you in the stomach with the feels.
Yeah.
Yes, it
Because
does.
I'll say it, You watch that trailer, and I get a strong sense that either one or maybe two or a few, who knows, Guardians are gonna die.
Yeah.
The big theory, because you can see in the trailer.
In the very beginning.
Okay, go on.
No, you go ahead.
No, what's your thought
When
about
they
the very beginning?
when they first get off the ship in the new town, who's missing?
Well, isn't Gamora missing?
Well, yes, but who also is missing? Rocket.
Oh, I mean,
I thought he's there. I thought
they build throughout the
don't think
episode
so.
that
He's not when they first come off the ship.
what? I gotta.
Unless I kept looking because I saw somebody mention that, and I was like, wait, really? And I went back and I never saw it.
when I saw that little dig into his origin with like him as a like an actual like
Raccoon before High Evolutionary changes him.
Yep, I was like, well,
That's where really all the feels are gonna come in is on that.
What's funny is the trailer starts out and it looks like they're on Earth, but there's all these aliens. So it's like, are they really on Earth or are they not?
No, I think that's Counter Earth. I don't see Rocket anywhere.
And they have the Nova Corp suits on.
Which, granted,
so I guess it is Rocket then. I will say, so the reason I thought that it was probably Drax dying is what a lot of people are saying, that
I wouldn't be surprised about that either.
There's a shot where Mantis is visually upset, and people are saying how well, Mantis, from what we've seen, Mantis really only gets along with Drax and Quill the most, and we can kind of tell that, there's the shot where, Nebula's carrying Quill's body, but it's but that's probably a comedy shot, and he, got knocked out.
Right.
He's not dead.
See, and this could be them playing tricks and making it look like a comedy shot, but in that shot, which Rocket is in, he's, holding something and, sipping something while she's carrying Quill. But is Rocket actually there in that shot?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's Marvel.
Marvel does that.
Marvel is known to manipulate trailer scenes. And
I'm
then
with you, KP. I would not be surprised if multiple, if not most, maybe even all of the Guardians, main Guardians as we know them, die in this movie.
I could see it where maybe some of them die, and then Quill and the new Gamora quote, whatever. They then kind of go off into the sunset, and that's it. Because the reason for obviously with the beginning of the trailer, you kind of get the feeling that Rocket probably dies.
I also mainly got that feeling from when they showed that that bloody scalpel, and then you see that
that's where
Chris Pratt is visibly
very upset.
Yeah.
But see, that
very much looks like he lost somebody.
But that's where then they show Mantis though for that same sequence, and that's why I thought it was probably Drax. But the other reason I kind of think Drax might go is just because I think Dave Bautista, he was very against even coming back for the third movie unless James Gunn was going to do it. And then also, I think Bautista's doesn't he want to retire from acting? He's kind of getting up there in age and stuff,
No,
isn't he?
because he's literally pitching himself to be in the Gears of War movie. He doesn't want to retire.
But
he has made it very apparent that this is his last appearance.
I remember him now that you bring that up. I remember him talking.
I pretty much think it's a good bet that at least Rocket and Drax die in this.
Well,
I think that's a very safe bet.
With Bautista, Bautista was approached about a possible Old Republic trilogy as well as Bane, because that would be fucking spot the fuck on. And I don't think he was at all interested. I think it was he wasn't.
Okay, I'm sorry, man, but if you're trying to be a well-known actor, even if you're not into Star Wars, you get offered a fucking role in Star Wars, you fucking take it.
Especially such a monument. And that's why I guess that's where that came from for me, is that I'm surprised he still wants to act. Is that you'd think if there was something he'd want to be involved in, it would be fucking that.
Right.
But no, Gears of War. I mean, okay, sure. I know.
So that's pretty nice.
I mean, if they go full on Expendables with that movie, I could probably appreciate it, even though I hate the fucking games. But
yeah, I didn't like the games either.
I'm also not a big third-person cover shooter guy.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of boring. But
I don't like how many times you can hit the X button to roll and shoot. That's pretty much all you do.
Well, it's also the fact that the game is literally just 3 peeking. It's
Mhm.
hide behind cover and wait to watch people like move around until they like get close enough with you where you're gonna blast them into pieces with the shotgun. That's why
Yep.
those games. I'm sorry. I understand there's games get a big following. A lot of people love those games, but to me, that's why those games suck.
Agreed.
But
Agreed.
back to Marvel. The other thing with the trailer is that obviously it looks like they're probably gonna reunite with Gamora. Probably, I would say maybe fairly quickly.
Yeah.
She's in some shots with the entire team. Looks like they're gonna bust her out of a prison that she's in. But for me, he's finally here. He's finally here. Adam
I
is
shall call
finally
him
here.
Adam.
I shall call him Adam. So,
5 years later.
yeah, God, so stupid. How the hell they couldn't get him into the Infinity War? And
I know.
It's still. I think that's always just gonna bother me, but whatever. At this point. Anyways,
What do you think they're gonna call the gem in his head? Because I don't think they.
Oh,
can,
yeah,
I don't
because
think they can
that's-
call it that.
I was gonna say because isn't that supposed to be like, well, with Vision with his in his head, isn't with Adam Warlock? Isn't that supposed to be the Soul Stone in his head?
I can't remember if it's which one, but yeah, it's one of the.
That's the
one of
thing
the
that I
gems.
hate is like he's his character is known in the comics to being the protector of the Soul Stone.
Mhm.
Well, obviously in the MCU, all the gems are gone. They're in the past. So what is this Adam Warlock, and what's his whole role in the universe? And like, yeah, it looks like he's probably going to be super strong. And so to piggyback what we were saying about how you guys were talking about the character or the actor playing the kid for Blue Beetle, it's the same thing with the actor playing Adam Warlock.
Oh yeah.
You go back, watch Let's Be the Millers, and then now you're gonna see him in this and be like, oh, this guy grew.
Or even like more,
like
even
you
more
know?
of a
Dude, he's
throwback.
fucking jacked too, and
He is jacked for this role. Yeah,
He's also,
jacked.
uh,
That's actually him. Like,
started a Toy Story. Now we here.
I'm pretty sure he also plays. Did you guys ever watch the Chronicles of Narnia movies?
I did not. Is he in those?
He's in The Voyage of Don Treader, and he plays Eustace, and he plays him absolutely fucking perfectly. He's the most annoying little whiny piece of shit you've ever met in your life.
Okay then.
But I mean that. No, when I walk, because that's the only
Jordan's
book.
like,
That's
but
the
I
only.
mean that in great performance.
I
man."
do
Great
because
context.
that's the only book series I have ever read completely, and that character is the most despicable piece of shit in that book series. He's so annoying, and Will Poulter played him absolutely perfectly.
Okay.
Walking out of that movie, I was like, I love that guy. Like, he made me hate him perfectly. And now he's Adam Warlock.
Yes. And then, of course, they showed some images of the High Evolutionary, which I will admit I had to get on IMDb here because I couldn't remember that is the villain they're kind of going after. But yeah, no, looks like it's going to be good. Probably a tearjerker.
Music
People
alone.
are wondering if it's going to be the best MCU trilogy. Which I don't know that I can. I mean, automatic no, because honestly, like, yeah, Guardians Volume 2 is good, but it's really not as great as the first one, and
I would agree.
it's kind of its own little standalone.
I mean,
I don't know.
dude,
I just don't think so. I think the best MCU trilogy so far has still been Spider-Man.
Yeah. dude, I mean, Guardians is just so well received by everybody. It's like it's
Right.
Spider-Man or
it's
Captain
just-
America? I feel like everybody throws out Captain America.
Shit.
Which, I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of torn if I would pick Spider-Man or Captain America because I'm really not that high on Winter Soldier, and I'm really not that super high on the second Spider-Man movie either.
I would say more
Yeah.
Spider-Man because I think all three of those are very good. The problem I wouldn't say with like if we're gonna talk trilogy and we're gonna say all three movies,
I actually think I know where you're going with this, and I think I'm going to agree with you. Go ahead.
the problem with Captain America is that the first movie's kind of mid.
Yeah, very much so.
That's
I
not where
lo-
I thought you were going to go with that. But I kind of, well,
No, you
I
and I are
agree.
opposite on Winter Soldier. I like the Winter Soldier movie a lot.
Me
and
too.
I know, but that's
love
not
watching
what I
Civil-
thought you were going to
And
say.
I
though.
love
But
watching Civil War. I think those two were very well done. I just think the first Captain America movie is just kind of a
Here's where I
mid okay movie. Like, it wasn't great. it wasn't bad.
Here's where I
It's
thought you were
pretty
going to
good.
go
If
with
we,
this.
if we had a bracket,
And this is why I
those would
think
be towards the
actually
end. I'll tell you that.
I'm going to give the nod to Spider-Man as the better trilogy because this is where I actually thought you were going to go with this.
Oh.
The Spider-Man movies, you watch them, they all three are a cohesive story and tell a trilogy.
Yes.
The Captain America movies
Are
do not.
No.
You basically have a sequel and then a trilogy movie that really is just an Avengers movie. But if you watch them if you literally just watch the Captain America movies as a trilogy, they don't really.
Well, each
line.
movie
They don't
is its
sync
own,
up,
each
yeah.
movie is its own standalone story.
They're technically a trilogy, but they're not.
Yes.
Like
You know,
you're
it's-
like you're right. Like Spider-Man feels more like a trilogy because you're watching him
You're
progress.
watching a whole complete arc with these other arcs underneath it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Captain America is literally arc,
Yeah.
Yeah.
to go under this big whole Marvel umbrella.
And the
Yeah.
right, I was
Yeah.
gonna say the Captain America movies are more planted in to help the giant umbrella of plot developments for the connections within all the other movies in the Avengers movies. Where, the Spider-Man stuff is like it's his own stories concerning just Peter Parker.
Cohesive trilogy.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that's really all I got for news.
A little Indiana Jones there.
Not
that's
Marvel,
that's
though.
Lucasfilms, bro. That's your
Yeah.
category, dog.
That's all Lucasfilm. We'll get into the, the non triarchy,
Holy Trinity.
Holy Trinity, whatever the hell you guys want to call it. We'll get into other cool shit at the end. All right. So do we want to do this now, or do we want to wait till after Star Wars news, or do you want to? I guess might as well do it now. It's Marvel stuff.
Yeah, that's Marvel
So
stuff.
one thing we thought that we'd do for you viewers and see what your opinions are on it is we're going to rank the Phase 4 movies now that it's thankfully over.
And just the movies, just so you guys know. We're not doing the TV shows as well. Maybe later down the line, probably not. But
And I just realized that...
mainly because I'm a fuck up and I haven't watched all of the Marvel shows. So I honestly couldn't do an honest ranking. So just the movies.
That'd be a bitch to rank those series too, man.
It'd be a lot. And we kind of have a loaded episode anyway, so I think that would make the episode go a little way long if we did that anyway.
Yeah.
So who wants to go first?
Wait, so...
Well, I'd say mine might be a little bit more different than both of yours, so I can start it.
Let's go, Bull. Give us your ranking.
Well, I'll start at the bottom. Obviously, number 6 to me is Eternals. I felt like that was an absolute fucking snooze fest and struggled through every bit of it except for the very end.
Okay, so...
All right, fair enough. I can't say I disagree with that assessment.
Right up next to it, Black Widow. Like we talked about earlier, just forgettable. Obviously took place in the wrong.
There's 7.
You are, yeah.
There's 7.
I'm trying to say this.
Which one are we missing?
The one that just
The one that just came out.
Oh well.
The one that is the end of Phase 4.
Yeah.
I looked at the list and I was like, I feel like we're missing something. And then,
It literally just hit me too. I was like, wait a minute, we're missing one.
sorry,
Oh, it's okay.
not to
No.
interrupt you in your
No.
rankings.
No, I'm actually going to add it in right now because I know exactly where it fits.
I mean, yeah, well, I also was able to quickly figure out where it fits for me.
All right, and then of course, so in that case, 7 is Eternals for me.
Let's just do a +1 real quick.
Yeah, let me just change around the numbers and we'll just go right back to it.
Yeah.
And of course, Black Widow, and then Black Panther. Number 5.
Ooh.
Yeah. Love and Thunder's 4 for me.
Okay.
Multiverse of Madness sitting at 3. No Way Home 2. Shang-Chi 1.
All right.
Interesting. Would you like me to go second, KP? Or would you like to go second?
I can go second. Fine. So starting from the bottom, to me, like you said, it's such a forgettable movie, and like we kind of briefly discussed, and I'll just say it. Placement of the movie totally just made me feel like, this is not important. So I'm going to throw Black Widow on the bottom.
Ooh,
Because to me, it's,
interesting.
at this point, the story... Like, I get it. You gave her own movie, but you should have done it a long time ago. Because
Agreed.
Canonically now, with where we're at, she's dead.
And it didn't
The
matter.
character's dead. So I kind of don't... care.
Yeah.
I
No,
understand the movie was to set up Red Guardian and Yelena. You probably
100%.
could have done that in a different way
Oh, yeah.
somewhere else. I personally feel like.
Could have gave him a cameo and it would have given him the handshake into the universe. I mean, that's really, I mean, just like an extended cameo.
Oh, like the character that I'm hyped for in Guardians 3?
Yeah.
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 And you didn't even have a cameo in the second one. They just showed the cocoon. I'm still fine about it.
yeah.
So yeah.
him Adam.
So obviously, kind of very different from yours. My 6 is gonna be Love and Thunder, mainly because the two tones of the movie bothers me. I actually don't hate on Eternals. I'm gonna say that's my number 5. Yes, the movie's freaking boring, but it does pick up at the end, and I love the end of it. Wakanda Forever is gonna be 4 for me because I enjoyed it. Number 3, we agree on Multiverse of Madness. And then I'm going to go with Shang-Chi as number 2 and No Way Home as my number 1. And that's nostalgia. I'll say it all day.
Oh, dude,
it's nostalgia.
That was my biggest thing with Shang-Chi or No Way Home.
If you're a millennial, you know why.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I mean, anytime I'm watching, your name is Toby. anytime that I'm just sitting in a movie and I'm watching it and I'm going, the fuck, what the fuck,
Yeah,
what the fuck, the whole time. I mean, it's gonna be up there.
Yeah.
All right, mine.
This
Number 7 for me has got to be Eternals. That was a fucking snore fest. It has the distinct record for me. There's only 2 Marvel movies I'd fallen asleep in. That's the first 2 Thor movies. It is now the 3rd movie I've ever fallen asleep in, and it was multiple times. I kept waking up every couple minutes. Boring snooze fest. Fuck that. Like him, like he said, it gets somewhat entertaining at the end, and I actually woke back up again for the end. But
yes,
fuck that movie. Number 6 for me is Love and Thunder.
Knew it.
Trash. It is 2 completely different tones. Once again, I've said it before. I'll say it again. You had 2 different great movies with 2 different tones. You just needed to pick one of those tones, but you went with both and ended up with a Frankenstein of a fucking movie.
Is that because you don't like the movie as a director if you were directing it, or is that because you don't like it as a fan?
I don't like it from just a story perspective of like you have these massively 2 contrasting tones and you're trying to put them together then when they don't mix together at all.
I think it's a little bit of both because hating it from a director
and there's just way too many jokes. Like this is also kind of the problem with I've said this about Marvel, but especially egregiously in this movie, they're throwing jokes at you absolutely fucking constantly, and maybe like 20% of them maybe land.
Yeah,
that type of shit gets really annoying to me, like really fast. So
it's hit and miss sometimes. I mean, I agree with that totally.
Like I said,
it's just like,
they could have went with a somber version of this movie in tone, like with the whole Jane Foster stuff, more emotional, heartfelt, some levity and heartwarming moments. That and that's still the same storyline. I think it would have been much better, but they crammed too much of this bullshit comedy down your throat. So it's like they either should have went that route or they should have maybe cut that other emotional stuff out and just went pure comedy with it and fun and action.
I mean, we look at
but
it,
then you have all that pure high humor and action, and then you have these like low somber emotional moments that they just don't mix.
Bro, we watched Marvel movies with Thor having a beer gut, drinking beer.
I never said I liked it.
Well,
I still think that was better than that movie.
Yeah, calling him Big Lebowski and all this shit.
Yeah, that was way better than
Thor is having the same problem that Jack Sparrow had in the fucking Pirates movies. He just gets dumber and dumber and dumber as the movies go on.
Thor has the same tone. He is a frat bro that has just happened to become a superhero.
Thor worked because the character arguably was like going through depression because he literally lost everyone in his life.
Well, I understand that, but they made a joke out of it.
Yeah. I mean,
it's like that's the thing. He is a frat bro that became a superhero by happenstance, almost like part of the Avengers by happenstance. And so that's kind of how I view that character. I view it as a joke. So any time it gets serious, it's like, okay, I see what they're doing, and then you bring out the Thor, you know what you're gonna get. I mean, he'll have his moments where he has these like epic fights and shit, and he gets all serious and Moreaus and all this stuff. And he'll just come right back, and then the goats just come flying in or whatever they are.
Let me ask you this, just as a side question: Ragnarok or Love and Thunder? Which one's better?
Oh, Ragnarok all day.
Okay, at least you see the light on that one.
Yeah,
Way better than
But Ragnarok had a better balance of humor and seriousness in that as well.
Well, and Ragnarok was refreshing because it finally gave Thor a personality.
Which I think is also why it worked, because he was so fucking dry beforehand.
Well, then they completely changed it for Love and Thunder again. I mean, that's.
Well, they just made him more ridiculous.
And that's what I'm saying. He's got the Jack Sparrow path. He's getting dumber and dumber as these movies go on.
Well, it's like when he's
for
sitting
comedic purposes, but it makes no sense why he's getting dumber and dumber.
I mean, it's like when he's sitting on top of a fucking hill as like he looks like a fucking hippie or whatever, or some roadie at some fucking concert venue. And I mean, like it's just like they're completely manipulating the character, which it is what it is. It's their character to do with what they please, whether we like it or not. It's another thing. But I mean, you can see where they were going with him from the fucking jump. And I can't. I mean, not that, like I said, you don't have to like it, but that part does make sense with the direction they're bringing him in.
Yeah.
Well, at least according to Chris Hemsworth, it's going to be a completely different tone if he ever comes back. So I like to hear that. But number 5 for me is Black Widow.
Okay.
It was okay. It was just an okay movie. I don't hate it. I agree with you guys. It's 6 years too late. It's basically solely for the purpose of introducing Red Guardian and Yelena. Was that her name? Yelena.
The sister. Yeah.
Florence Pugh.
Beautiful.
Are you okay?
So pretty.
Basically, the reason it's a Black Widow movie is so they could market Black Widow and Scarlett Johansson and make money off of it. And that's the only reason it's a Black Widow movie. For me, I feel like 3 and 4 are basically kind of the same, but I've got 4 as Multiverse of Madness and then 3 as Wakanda Forever. I feel like you could ask me that tomorrow and it'd probably flip those two, depending on the day. They're kind of equal to me. And then number 2 for me is Shang-Chi. And then number 1, No Way Home. One of the best just comic book movies ever made, in my opinion. Because I think even by itself, as a standalone movie, is phenomenal and works. Even if you're somebody who isn't even familiar with the previous trilogy, I still think it is a great Spider-Man story. And it gives me my favorite moment in all of Marvel history, when MJ falls off, Tom Holland's Peter Parker jumps off, boom, green glider. Who jumps off next? My boy, Andrew Garfield, to save the day. I had tears rolling down my face. I'll be a man about it. My favorite moment in all of Marvel is in that movie. God bless that movie.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Because that one moment's it's Garfield's Spider-Man's redemption.
His full redemption.
Couldn't save Gwen, but he at least saved that universe's MJ.
He saved Tom Holland's Peter Parker from going through what he did. Yeah. Great movie.
I love that movie, especially when Toby's Spider-Man, he's telling him, like, I wanted revenge, and I got it, and it did not make me feel better.
Yeah.
He's like, I loved it. I love that movie.
That movie is phenomenal.
Yes.
So I would say me and KP kind of lined up.
A little bit. I think, like,
I
lined up a little.
Yeah.
I lined up a little more with Jay. The main difference, I think, with us is that I don't hate Eternals as much.
I'll say that's the main difference.
Yeah.
The problem, so with you watching it, Jay, what I'll say, and I don't blame you guys for rating it so low, because the problem with Eternals, to me, is that it wanted to jump around at the timeline. Like, it starts out in the past, then it immediately jumps, like, the whole 5,000 years into the future or something, or however long it is with them. And then, like, the whole movie, it keeps going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I thought, like, maybe you should have done a bunch of time skips in the beginning, and then have the actual, the actual main plot of the movie. Or just, I don't know, maybe just not have so many flashbacks like you did in the movie. Because, dude, a lot of it felt just unnecessary.
100%. It's like there was no solid... for me, I struggled to find the plot. I mean, I struggled to find it, not because it wasn't there, but because I guess everything that was happening typically will be part of building a plot. Whereas I feel like you said, there's so much in this that just completely went unused, and I'm just watching it. I'm like, a lot of times we ask ourselves this: why the fuck am I watching this?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the fuck is this? Like, what is this doing for the main storyline? Which I get. I mean, the Eternals are involved in a lot of different ways, but dude, give me 3 Eternals movies that actually fucking mean something instead of one that's kind of like a general plot line.
Right.
I mean,
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree. It just kind of felt like a whole bunch of nothing was happening. I mean, this is normally not something I complain about, but it kind of felt like it was a movie that was more based around like kind of getting to know these characters more than anything else. Because there's the main villain's kind of blah, just a generic CGI monster that he's basically them trying to be Cell in this universe, but instead of androids, he sucks up androids. But
Say, well, wait a minute, but they are.
wait a minute.
But I mean, and that's not normally something. I usually like character building stuff, but I feel like that's usually more in TV shows. But it's like also these characters. I just didn't give a fuck about any of them. Like
100%.
none of them were likable or really like interesting or like as sad as this is to say, I feel like Sprite's like the most interesting one because she's someone that's stuck in a kid's body. She's actually like got something
going on
like that's somewhat interesting. Everybody else, Angelina Jolie's just randomly fucking glitching out because her memories are too whatever and they're overlooked. Okay, that's a weird.
I kind of.
You basically made the most well-known actress in this and probably the most badass out of these all just kind of a lame character that just kind of
a lame duck.
Just sporadically she's just gonna freak out and go after the team. It's just like, oh, okay, that's kind of fucking
They did
lame.
a bad job on Thena's character.
I don't like.
It was just empty bullshit.
And it really didn't, like, at the end of the day, like, what did it accomplish?
That's what I mean.
Like,
Nothing.
we got, okay, so we hear Blade off camera and the fucking Ebon Blade gets introduced or whatever that thing's called.
So Dane,
it's like, oh, cool.
Dane brings out the ebony. He brings out the ebony blade, and then you hear Marshala Ali say, "You don't want to do that, Dane," and that's it.
Dude, I mean, you can't.
That's really
you can't make up for all the faults of a movie with another movie's with another movie.
But that's like the thing that's weird about, and I thought that was so weird anyway. I don't know much about the Black Knight character. The big theory on that is that, like, when you saw that ebony blade, it kind of looked like it had something running on it, and it kind of looked like how they do the symbiotes.
In a way, yeah.
So a lot of people are theorizing that the power of the blade is going to be like really a symbiote that takes over his body, and it's supposed to tie in like the big bad that's from like nothingness and the void of space and time that wants to destroy the entire universe. What's his?
Which one?
About which one?
The king of the symbiotes.
Oh,
they think that's like one of the big running theories is that's gonna tie into that. So like he's gonna come around. Null. So a lot of people think that Null will eventually come around as well, but who knows? That would be all I wanted to know was just kind of your guys' thoughts on it, because since you guys had just watched it, I was just kind of curious. So, anyways,
it's been a while since I've seen Eternals, but
man, so I had to watch Black Widow, and Eternals this week. I'm not angry at myself that I waited so long to watch them.
Can't get those 5 hours back, Jay.
Yeah.
Nope. It was a rough week. It was a rough week.
Rough week.
I missed out on watching Willow this week for this bullshit. Yeah, that's a transition for you, Jeff.
There's transition.
Fair enough.
Transition into Lucasfilm.
Fair enough. That's gonna be our next one, isn't it? I think we're gonna try
think so. I mean, I'm down to watch it if you at least want to review it, Jeff. I don't know if you're down to watch Willow.
I can watch it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you said, we've heard good things, and there's only 2 episodes out, so
far. Right?
So so probably next week we'll have 3 episodes worth of reviews. I would say.
Yeah, that would work.
We can just crank through the first 3 and then go week by week after that.
For those of you that don't know, Willow, based on the 1988 film of the same name, George Lucas product. I didn't know shit about it. Never saw the original movie. So it looks like it says a young farmer is chosen to undertake a perilous journey in order to protect a special baby from an evil queen. Pretty open-ended there, but But
Very
obviously-
traditional fantasy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I think the original movie is just kind of like this cult classic movie that just some people like. I don't know. I'd have to rewatch it. I think.
Maybe after the series, we can watch the old movie.
Yeah, no, that'd be sweet. Yeah, that'd be sweet. That'd be actually pretty sweet. But
Yeah,
but
let us
no,
know in the
we'll-
comments. You want us to, after the Willow series, you want us to watch the original movie? I'd be kind of down.
yeah, we'll talk about it, see how it compares, how it contrasts. That'd be a good one. So there starts with Willow. Few other trailers though, if we want to get into those before Star Wars.
It's up to you. I mean, one of them.
It's
One of them's Lucasfilms anyway, so it's kind of
Right, we got Indiana Jones. The trailer just dropped. Looks good. I mean, as they all do. I mean, it's just kind of a legendary franchise, really. I mean, there's
I'd say I actually haven't watched an Indiana Jones movie in forever. Like
Okay.
I didn't watch the latest one.
it's bad.
I've heard
I didn't see
bad
that
things
one.
about it.
Crystal Skull.
I didn't
It's
see
a
it.
bad movie.
I'm glad I haven't seen it then.
This one kind of looks interesting. If there's time travel involved, I'm always a little intrigued.
Yeah.
It seems like the dial of destiny
The
or
dial is something, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it's interesting.
it seems like, well, obviously, since there's young shots of him, I would assume there's some time traveling in this. Plus, I think the plot around it is like some former Nazi scientist
wouldn't
wanting
be-
to go back in time to.
That would be
I
right for
wouldn't be
par for the
shocked
course.
if the movie has time travel, so then they can retcon and eliminate Crystal Skull from like the canon because
Yeah.
again, the movie sucked. And obviously, with this movie, all right, let's pull it up. I'm just going to do it. I'm gonna guess that Mr. LaBeouf is not in it. And spoilers for you that haven't seen Crystal Skull is that in Crystal Skull, like LaBeouf's character is his son. So I wouldn't be shocked if this movie is going to have time travel and then it'll retcon that and it'll wipe his son out of existence.
Fuck yeah.
Hey, might as
That's
well.
just my thought.
There's a way you can do it. Fucking do it. And then, of course, something we can't really deep dive too much, as I've said several times. We have the Transformers movie coming out.
Yes. Yeah, like every Transformers movie, cool CGI, explosion.
Hey, you know what? This one is not Michael Bay.
It's not.
So I will just say that gives me hope that this might actually be a good one.
Is he still on it as producer though?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I would hope not. Is this from the same person that made Bumblebee? I heard Bumblebee was actually kind of good.
I've heard that I have not seen Bumblebee, and I've heard Bumblebee is really, really good.
Really?
Because I don't think Michael Bay did Bumblebee either,
He
right?
did not
No, he
do
did not.
Bumblebee. And people for this one are freaking out over RC.
People are saying that the Maximals and the Insecticons are going to be going at it in this one.
Well, the Maximals are in the trailer.
The Maximals, yes, but the
'cause you see it-
Insecticons is who they say it's going to be.
Well, it should be. And that's why I didn't like... So in the trailer, like, you don't see any of the Insecticons, and I was like, where are they at?
Yeah.
And I can't remember what happens in the last night. Like, Megatron has died and has come back like 5 times in the movies. I mean,
He does. In
he
the
gets killed
cartoons, too. He's always
he-
getting
and
killed.
and oh my gosh,
He floats
okay.
in space and just comes back one day. Like, it's
Well,
just,
good God, it's in Age of Extinction when they introduced the Dinobots. Like, that's when he becomes Galvatron in that one, and then he gets killed. But then randomly in the last night, he's just back and he's Megatron again. He's Megatron again. It's like, oh, what?
Dude, Megatron's been said of getting his ass whipped for fucking since my childhood.
With the Bumblebee movie, I've heard the Bumblebee movie is really, really good, though.
So another
And-
thing that I noticed, did they go back to... Did they
and,
change Optimus Prime to look more like the cartoon?
Oh,
so
yeah,
that's
looks
what
like it.
people.
Because when he
are-
popped up, I was like, whoa.
it looks-
I was
one-
like, is that
the one-
Optimus?
The one scene looked bad.
Yeah.
And people are saying, like, they're arguing about it because they're like, okay, if that's really what he looks like in the movie, that's way more traditional to the cartoons. Like, but people said, though, but he looks more aesthetically pleasing from that.
Where does this supposed to take place with that in mind? Like, when is this supposed to take place?
I have no idea.
That's
I don't know either.
Because that's the thing, is like it's an all new cast of the human characters
Right,
too.
right.
Like Mark Wahlberg's no longer here, and
Right. And when we never see any of the Maximals in any of the other
No.
movies, so it's like maybe
it's
this-
pretty interesting too. Even with the Maximals, like what's that? So like were they just around and they just never cared to help fight?
It's either that or this is before that. I don't know.
Maybe
I
it
don't
is
know.
before that.
Maybe, I don't know.
I do just love that we're getting an Optimus Prime and an Optimus Primal in the same movie.
Fuck yeah.
It's awesome. And Cheetah's in it. I was stoked when I saw Cheetah. They showed the Hawk too.
Was that Razor Claw or something like that?
Dude, I remember these fucking toys, dude.
Oh yeah, I remember watching the show.
My younger stepbrother was into Transformers a lot. He had a bunch of the toys and shit. They used to frustrate the hell out of me. Like, how the fuck do you unfold this?
I remember these fucking toys when I was a kid and shit.
To answer your question though, Bumblebee was. I need to watch Bumblebee, and now that I know that it's not done by Michael Bay, I think I'm gonna go watch it this weekend.
I'm gonna check it out too. I didn't hear it was that good, so.
But I'm big hype for Transformers, this new one, just because, like, you know, I was a kid growing up in the 90s watching Beast Wars, so I'm pretty
Same.
pumped that they decided to adapt it.
That shot's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Shot where he is like walking out of the car as it like transforms
Oh,
behind him.
sweet.
I was like, all right,
Yeah,
that was a pretty
I guess
sick
that's-
shot.
I guess
Yeah.
that's Mirage. It's just interesting. Yeah, the time plot of this is just crazy to me. I did love too how they showed the quick shot of like what's going to be the final battle, and the final battle is probably the Autobots and the Maximals against the Decepticons and the Insecticons.
Yeah, I like how they shot it like a Civil War.
Yeah.
Just all just-
Mhm.
Just as a quick side note, Kevin, Kansas State's up 14-7 on TCU.
Oh God,
It's happening.
it's
guys.
happening, everybody.
It's happening.
OHIO is back in, and Bama's about to sneak.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
We'll
I'm
see.
obviously
We'll see,
probably
guys.
the least one into Transformers out of us, but
Well, have you
this
ever
one looks
watched-
cool.
Did you
It
ever
does look
watch
good.
the old ones, the movies?
I
The
think
other movies?
I've watched the first two. I think
They're all pretty.
maybe the
good.
third one. I can't remember if I watched the third one. Or
I
not.
wouldn't say they're all pretty good, but
I mean, they're all pretty good for what they are. I mean,
Or wait, no,
it's
Wahlberg's on the third one, isn't he?
Wahlberg is in
Yeah.
4 and 5.
4 and 5. Okay,
There's
those are
that fucking many. Holy shit.
Yes.
There's a shitload.
There's a shitload. There's
Then
5
maybe
of
I've
them.
seen 2 or 3.
There's 5.
Yeah.
There's 5, and then there's the Bumblebee movie.
I feel like I saw one of them with Wahlberg in it. So maybe I saw like
You-
1, 2,
you
and 4 or something like that.
Probably.
I was gonna say you might have seen.
I mean, everybody loves Marky.
You probably saw The Last Night. That's the most recent one.
Was it? Yeah, that was the bad one, right?
Dude, I mean,
Well, they're
and-
both-
And honestly, like I was telling you guys earlier, it's not something that we're going to be able to really deep dive. I mean, yeah, obviously there's your hardcore Transformers fans out there that would, but I look at these and I'm like, dude, you just appreciate it for what it is and you move forward.
To
You know,
me,
and if it isn't good, then you're like, okay. It's-
All right.
To me, the first one is amazing. The 2 sequels after it that are in that trilogy are not, like, Revenge of the Fallen to me was terrible, and then Dark of the Moon was not that great either.
Oh, so I've probably seen 4 then, because never mind, I have seen the first.
I
Now that
mean-
he's read the titles, I haven't seen those.
Dark of the Moon is the one where the old Prime basically works with Megatron, and then Optimus has to kill both.
yeah.
Like that's the whole
Stupid.
plot. It's very stupid.
It's
Like
just boom, explode, everything explodes, everything's getting shot.
well, and the
everything's
plot
blowing
is
up.
like the old Prime basically agrees with Megatron in deciding to kill all the humans so they can
Yeah.
make Earth the next Cybertron.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. You probably saw this one with Wahlberg, because if you don't remember the Dinobots, that's the 4th one. The Last Night, this is the most recent one they did.
See,
You probably saw this one. Because this is the one where Optimus, like, gets corrupted, and then he starts fucking up the Autobots, but then, like, at the end, he...
what's the one? Isn't it like Michael Keegan, one of them or something?
I think
no.
Isn't he like one of the smaller like
I thought
robots?
he was. I could have swore he was.
He might be. I don't know. I'm not sure. Oh, that's right. I forgot that the plot of the movie of The Last Night is that the Knights of the Round Table were actually like old school giant transformers that came to Earth during King Arthur's time. Like, God, it's so stupid.
I don't remember Mark Wahlberg.
Maybe you watched Age of Extinction.
I think it was Age of Extinction because I don't think I watched the newest one.
Age of Extinction is the one with
But I don't remember Dinobots.
yeah, this is Age of Extinction here. This is the one where they have oh, they got Galvatron in it, and then T.J. Miller is in it.
That's
That's
casting for Keegan Top Spin in the animated series.
I could be getting it wrong. I feel like there's like in one of them there's like a pretty well-known comedic actor that like voices one of the small robots or transformers.
Not sure.
Fuck it. These movies are confusing to me at this point.
Right. Well, and it's annoying too, because they're so bad, and then they don't. Because what I don't get is like they just, I don't know. They don't. They bring back some of the same characters, and then some of them they don't, and it just gets all goofy, and I don't know. But Bumblebee apparently is amazing. I just need to watch it.
Yeah, I'm gonna get on that as well. I guess I didn't know it was as good as people were saying it is.
Right. All right, let's get into the last of your news here.
Oh, so
Stop going on tangents about other shit.
Fair enough. All right, so Star Wars news, the third of the Trinity. Mandalorian has been announced for March 1st of 2023. Confirmed.
Yes.
Some leaks.
Counting the days.
And there's some leaks that have come forward. Apparently, Hando is in an episode, and we had talked about that previously.
Yes.
Yep, we had talked about that previously. I remember we were a little flippant on it at first, and what we were.
Is Johnny Depp Hondo?
Fuck, that would be hot. That'd be the biggest slap in the face. But what I could see looks like apparently Mando or Boba's in quite a few episodes of Mando, but now he has hair.
What?
He has hair.
Why?
Who?
Boba.
Why does he
Boba
have
Fett
hair?
has hair?
Boba Fett has hair.
Where do we see this? Where did we see this?
It was one of the leaks from. Let me see.
You get to have hair.
Yeah, it's black with cool streaks of gray in it.
He's not supposed to have hair.
I mean, do we really know what he's?
Right. This is.
I mean,
this
we're
is all
just
uncharted territory. Now.
Yeah, I mean, we're really just saying like, well, I got used to him being bald in his show. So.
Well, it's cool because now he's gonna look so much more like the clones. You know,
that's kind of why him having hair, I think I'm okay with it, because he's gonna look more like the clones.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool. I mean, I think there was obviously a leak of a scene or some shots or some part of the filming aspect of it where they were just getting little glimpses. You know, and that's kind of why they basically confirmed Hondo in one episode and then the hair for Boba. But
I love it, dude.
yeah,
I want to know who's gonna play him. How ridiculous is it gonna be?
because it's gonna be outlandish. And
yeah, Hondo's character is so just so much comedic relief and.
Well, and dude, the thing is like I knew they were gonna do this, and actually, what brought this to the forefront for me when I was in Disney and we did the Smuggler's Run ride.
Mm-hmm.
He brings you through the whole thing. You're in his operation.
Oh, that's hot.
Yeah, so when you're driving the Millennium Falcon, he is talking to you and guiding you, and you see him on your heads up display. He,
That's
talks to you.
legit.
So you just knew that he was he had to make his way back somehow. And
Yeah.
especially now that they've brought the actual Mandalorian like in suit to Galaxy's Edge, which is another big thing, by the way. Apparently, a lot of
Yeah,
people are pissed off about that because apparently people are just so hype about it,
Mhm.
and there's stormtroopers in front of him that everybody's just nobody can go take pictures with him, nobody can get near him. They're all just saying, "Stay back, please stand back, please stand back." Like they won't let anybody near the Mandalorian because of how hype everybody is for it, but which is
Good.
yeah.
Good.
But of course, highly excited for that. No Ahsoka. That's what I'm understanding. No Ahsoka. There's not supposed to be any Mandalorian and Ahsoka interaction until Ahsoka,
That's fine.
which is awesome.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because obviously, all the interaction they've had thus far is more than I ever anticipated. But
So that tells me that the Mandalorian season 3 is going to be him fighting with Bo-Katan over the Retrograde Mandalore and the Darksaber, and he's going to probably somehow end up losing, but want to like not let Bo-Katan be in charge or who knows.
dude,
I don't know. I just see that developing as there's a reason he's going to need to show up in Ahsoka's series, and it's probably like he's going to go to her and ask her for help.
yeah, and I think a lot of it's going to come down to that fact that they have such a she has such attention towards him, and he has none towards her. So it's like, he was just like, she's like, you can't take the Darksaber. Nope, I yield. Just take it. Like, I don't want nothing to do with this. Now he's starting to, obviously, he's getting a little bit attached to it.
They say the plot line of the third season is it's Bo-Katan's, it's Clan Kreese against Mando's, like, he's going to run around the galaxy getting other Mandalorians, and he's going to be like, hey, look what I got.
It's dope.
They're just, hail you as the king, and they're going to follow him, but then Bo-Katan, Clan Kreese is going to be like, no, our clan's royalty, fuck you, give us that saber, and then they're going to want to fight him for it. That's where I can see, that's what I've heard is going to be the plot line of the entire season.
Yeah, and that, I see that for sure. The only thing that kind of holds me up on it is that technically in his own mind right now, he's not a Mandalorian.
True.
I mean, that's the only thing that holds me up from really committing
He's not
to
a
that.
true Mandalorian, yes.
Well, yeah, especially because his clan disowned him. I mean,
The armor.
yeah, with the armor, he
The
took his helmet
religious
off.
religious zealots.
The zealots, the what is it? The child of the what is it? Oh God, I can't remember what she called him.
I can't remember either.
He's a child of the something. Blah blah blah. It was the child of the Watch.
That's right.
Child of the Watch. Yeah, so he obviously Death Watch.
Yes.
Defected to the moon, and that's where he comes from.
Yes.
That's who saved him. So.
Yes.
But I mean, that's the only thing holding me back from agreeing with that. Is that he has to go to the to the caverns below Mandalore to what is it isn't it bathe in the waters of the caverns of Mandalore or something?
I think
like
that's
that
what she said.
Yeah, so he has to do that in order to obviously bring back his own mantle of being a Mandalorian in his own mind. Well, in my opinion, I think a lot of this, at least in the beginning of the series, will be him trying to find out the truth behind Mandalorians.
Mm-hmm.
And because I think this is gonna, because now if he's not a Mandalorian, he doesn't have to fucking wear his helmet. It might be kind of nice not wearing that fucking helmet all the time.
Well, the actor himself bitches about it. So,
right. So
yeah.
maybe this is their way to finally, maybe he'll actually become a more mainstream traditionalist Mandalorian.
Maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. That's just projections, but
I just want to know who's gonna teach him how to properly wield this Darksaber.
I don't know because he looks like a fucking dipshit when he uses it now.
Luke?
Right.
What if Luke comes back?
They still gotta teach him how to use it.
Ahsoka.
Because essentially they gotta kind of have him tap into what small amount of force power he might have. Because that's the whole thing about the Mandalorians being able to wield it is that they have low midichlorian count, but like that's like the thing. It's like you're supposed to get in the mindset. When you watch Rebels, Kanan trains the girl.
Sabine. Is it Sabine?
It is Sabine. Yes.
Sabine Wren.
Sabine Wren. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Filoni. The one thing you did that's annoying as shit is you made two different female Mandalorian characters the same name except for one consonant letter.
Yeah. Consistency is key.
Yeah. And Sabine loves Obi-Wan, right? No, that's Satine.
Satine.
Sabine. Like, God, dude. Like, really? You couldn't... I don't know.
Old Obi-Wan clapping those Satine cheeks, man.
Right, dude.
Yeah, there's allegedly he's got a child.
Yeah, I mean that's always a possibility.
Dude, it's ridiculous in the fucking series when you see him. You're like, okay, Obi-Wan Jr.
Right.
Like, dude, it's bad. It looks. I mean, people have been talking about this for obviously years, but they never confirm it, But as much as he talks about it,
Satine has a nephew, and it's like
it's fucking.
It's like, well, it kind of looks like you're a kid with Obi-Wan. Because they talk about, too, in the series how, like, when they were 16, Satine asked Obi-Wan to give up Obi-Wan said to Satine, if you would have asked me a long time ago to give up the Jedi Order and be with you, I would have. But, like, that didn't happen, so.
Corky Kreese.
That's Corky. That's right.
Damn it. So it's a small shot. And he's like, what, 16?
Something like that, yeah.
And he's like 16.
It's something like that.
Right when she asked him to leave the order.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah, especially when is it Clone War? Yeah, it's Clone Wars when Obi-Wan catches Anakin talking to Padme on like a holo call, and he's like, "I've been there. Don't do this."
Yes. Yep.
And then of course at the end he knows that in Revenge of the Sith he knows that the child is Anakin's. So it's like he knew he lived every aspect of what Anakin went through. So that means which ones exactly?
Well, even in Clone Wars, like Anakin says something to Obi-Wan, like kind of about it, and there's some humor and stuff in there about like Obi-Wan kind of wanting to be with Satine, and Anakin kind of points it out that you're kind of preaching all this no attachment stuff, but you clearly like kind of have it with her.
Mm-hmm.
It comes up. It's pretty good stuff.
Well, and it also kind of calls back too to Satele Shan. I mean, Satele Shan. I mean, there's an entire book. I mean, I don't know, fucking canon anymore.
Yeah, that's right, dude. That's right.
Fucking but Satele Shan, the old Grandmaster of the Jedi Order in the Old Republic, she has a child with an off-worlder, and he ends up being this Force-sensitive thief, and it's actually one of the coolest books ever. He's Force sensitive, and he can see kind of end game stuff of what's going to happen in his current situation, like short future sight.
Oh, nice.
And dude, he's a bad motherfucker, dude. He carries a pistol. He's like a more badass Han Solo. It's fucking sweet.
Word.
Yeah. So all these Jedi Masters going out there just doing their thing,
Oh god.
Next on the docket, as much as I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. I saw this news and I was like, Michael Scott.
No!
No!
Yeah, dude, fucking Daisey Ridley sends a picture out at LucasArts Studios, an office of Yoda and Adam Driver. Whoa.
Technical difficulties.
And Adam Driver reportedly in talks to return as Ben Solo in the new Lindelof movies when they do release. So this, of course,
he's dead. How? Force Ghost. My bad.
Fucking dude,
got immediately redeemed, just like his granddaddy.
Dude, just
immediate redemption for that one good act of helping the good guys at the end.
Like, when you guys have your bad weeks.
Hey, you like Rise of Skywalker more than me and this guy right here.
That ain't saying too much.
I mean,
listen, when you talk about the best of a bad situation, like that's it. Like that, and honestly, dude, I'm telling you this.
His movies will probably just be Rey making her new Jedi Order, but he is a Force ghost that's trying to help her.
I'll say what is do we even know when this Lindelof movie takes place? Is this like a
But
flashback movie where it's a young Ben Solo?
Here's the thing. So what I understood about these movies is they were supposed to be in the future. They were supposed to be after the 9 movies. So to my understanding, they were just supposed to utilize characters from the sequel trilogy. So like you say,
maybe they'll just be in there. I don't know.
They could just be flash-ins. It could be they could be flashing back to the end where she has her yellow saber and stuff like that. They could be calling back to like that specific era.
It could be that we have a world where she has made an order of some kind or whatever, and maybe she's maybe not like the main overall character, but she's kind of like the Yoda, the master that's there,
or the protector of
Maybe.
the scripts. You
Yeah.
know what I mean, with the yellow lightsaber, when we were talking about the guardians of the Jedi Temple, they were yellow lightsaber wielders.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I
maybe
definitely
she's just going to
forgot
be
that, but
protecting. She'll just be protecting
Well,
the
you're
scripts
right.
and the
That's
knowledge.
That's the whole thing about it. Is
I can get on board with that. But if you kind of try to take her out and fucking turn her and give her own fucking Luke scenes and shit
Trilogy.
like that, get the fuck
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I hope not, but I
Yeah.
personally think it just might be that
I just don't understand why they haven't come out with the Knights of the Old Republic movie yet. It's just so easy. Everybody
Dude.
wants it.
Well,
The title's even fucking cool. Knights of the Old Republic.
Bro,
That's all you need.
The title's even cool.
and dude, you know what? You wouldn't even have to change a fucking thing. The only thing they'd have to do is take Knights of the Old Republic and then just do like a tagline like they do for all the games. Like Knights of the
Yeah.
Old Republic. The Dark Rises. Or so, whatever. Whatever it is. But that, dude, that would be my all-time dream, to have a true Old Republic movie. Obviously, I think they're going to probably do something with the High Republic. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I get
Which
that.
I'm also down with.
Yeah, I'm cool. I'm cool with. That's the thing, dude. So many of the coolest parts of Star Wars are in the past, and that's why the prequel trilogy did so well. A modern day Star Wars. Modern day, BBY in the Star Wars, or ABY, modern ABY. It's not that interesting. It's just fucking raw, and people are getting blown the fuck up and killing each other. But when you go back to that time, it was almost more like space age medieval type of feel, because you have all these beautiful capitals and all these senators and all these people going around and politicking, and then you have knights.
I'd say probably a lot more geopolitical too.
Oh yeah. Maybe the old Andor geopolitical grounded spectrum is a handshake to see if they can do something like that. It's a possibility.
If that's the case, then I think Andor even more.
Dude, well, speaking of Andor, perfect transition. Andor passed Game of Thrones for #1 series on television. That happened a couple days ago.
That's kind of
Somehow.
crazy to me, because I feel like for weeks people were saying about how no one's watching this show.
Dude, I think it just seems that way. Because people aren't as
I just feel like
fucking
nobody
amped.
talks. I just feel like nobody talks about it.
Yeah, it's
Like on Twitter, I never see
Which maybe
Andor
that's-
trending ever. I'm just like,
I do from the Star Wars accounts, they'll show a screenshot and oh, big hype for this moment. It means this, but other than that, I don't see people.
fawning over it. No,
Yeah.
no. Dude, it's actually really impressive that it slowly and in the silence creeped its way into #1.
Yeah.
But I never fucking saw it coming. When I saw that post come up, I was like, especially over Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of this is shocking, honestly.
I
say who reported it?
let me have to look it up again. I remember it was something I came across. It was like IGN or something like that.
It was TMZ.
Was it TMZ?
I don't know.
I was gonna say if it's TMZ. I was like, oh.
Oh,
I'd say that as being a troll. Sorry.
So that is a really, really surprising stat.
That's not a good sign. Whenever I say Andor surpasses House of the Dragon, it says, "Would you like to watch House of the Dragon?"
What are they paying for?
Disney Plus series. Okay. Disney Plus can now boast it as slate HBO Max's biggest beast, the Game of Thrones prequel series, House of the Dragon.
Oh, so it was House of the Dragon.
Yeah, not
Okay.
not the original Game of Thrones.
I was gonna
No,
say
no,
that
no.
was that's why I was like, what? So it surpassed House of the Dragon.
Yes.
That's still surprising though.
That's still kind of surprising because a lot of people were big on House of the Dragon.
Here it says.
I feel like House of the Dragon even beat Game of Thrones numbers.
Demand rose considerably as Andor headed into its season 1 finale over the Thanksgiving holiday. That surge of a reported 7% bumped the series to a 37.7 times the average levels of demand. And House of the Dragon came in at 33.9K. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, Andor.
Ooh, and Amazon's Peripheral at 25.4K.
I need to go back.
Finale was last night. Need to watch it.
I need to go back and, well, I need to just go back and, like, rewatch the few episodes that I did.
I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of fucking pissed at the finales
gonna,
already.
I'm just going to think. I think I'm going to just go binge that.
You might as well. I guess it's only like 8 episodes. I was
like,
pissed when I saw it was the finale.
It's a very interesting show. I'll admit that I kind of just forgot that I was watching it. And the episodes are an hour, and those series where the episodes are an hour, it
drags a little bit.
It kind of takes some. Well, I just kind of need to be a little more motivated to get into wanting to watch it.
Well, and we had so much stuff going on at that time. You know, so many series we were watching, so many things going on. Dude, I almost was starting to blend together Rings of Power and House of the Dragon because they're very similarly like culturally aged shows where it's like a kind of like that medieval, not necessarily high fantasy on both, but yes, like, you know, I'd say that they look very similar and the feel is very similar. So
yeah,
I wish they would have come out at separate times because then I could have given them the attention they actually deserve.
Right.
But I'm gonna have to go back and actually watch them a little bit now that they're all released. But anything else that you guys have heard? Any Star Wars news or anything like that?
The only other thing that you guys don't got that I saw a couple times this week is that Daphne Keane confirmed that Acolyte is a Sith-led story about how the Sith will infiltrate the Jedi Order.
Yep.
Yes.
So, yes, very good that it is the actual Sith-led. Like, that's going to be the main viewpoint.
Which
Star Wars needed that.
Which is fucking dope too, even more so, just because where does that put us in that timeline wise? Like,
they say it's supposed to take place 200 years before Phantom. So.
Yeah, and we kind of touched on it last week with the whole Plagueis time period and stuff like that. But dude, I just want to see what they do. I'm more amped. I've probably
depending on how far they stretch this, how many seasons it is, I would assume it's probably going to lead right up to Phantom.
Yeah, I mean, and dude, oh my god, dude.
Yeah, do some time skips,
dude. To be able to fucking get the fully bricked up nature of the dark side, like, bro, come on.
We all want it.
Yeah, everybody wants it. Like you said, it's what Star Wars needs. That's the direction they need to go. I mean, fuck, dude. Who doesn't? Okay, listen. There's a reason why Maul has much fucking notoriety that he had with like 5 minutes of screen time.
Killed off way too early. Rest in peace, Goat. We miss you, buddy.
But he was.
You know that he was dead. They just brought him back because they knew they pissed everybody off. Thank you for listening to the fans.
He fell down a trash chute to a trash planet where where he created metal spider legs that he sat on for years while he lost his mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds...
And then his brother came and saved him because he took him back to Dathomir, and then the Sith witches, saved him. Awesome story.
I know I should be like, oh, Maul, robotic legs. He's cool. That sounds lame to me. He should have just kept his fucking legs.
Maybe you should just watch Clone Wars and not hate on it, but...
That's a fact.
Anyways. Yeah, I think that's all we really got, though.
Here you go.
What's this? Oh, God.
That's Maul with the spider legs.
Oh, yeah, the giant legs, yeah. Those eventually.
Please tell me that's fucking fake.
No, it's like 1 or 2 episodes.
Jesus Christ. All right, I need to get the fuck out of here. All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in this week, whether you're listening podcast or watching on YouTube. We appreciate you so much. If you could subscribe, ring that little bell icon. We appreciate it so much. Until next time, it's your boy, J Sib.
It's Kevin Crunch.
And the Bull.
See ya later. We don't need
clap.
an outro clap.
The clap.
We're all about the clapping here.